Hey, y'all. Welcome to Everybody Gets 15 Minutes here at Waterloo Records in Austin, Texas. A quick conversation with some of our favorite acts we have the privilege of hosting live in store and right here on our own stage. I'm Gus Ochoa, and this is Eric from Midlake.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Man, we're so happy you're here. Thank you for being with us.
Of course.
Welcome to Waterloo. We were talking a little bit before. This is your first time into the new location,
Yeah,
right?
I love it. I'm a big fan of Waterloo, and I'm stoked to be able to be here today and play and just visit. I'm about to go shopping next. So, yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about, really.
Exactly.
I mean, working in a record store, we spend, I don't know, man, like half of our paycheck.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
I love the resurgence, though. I mean, it's great for record shops. It's great for bands. It's like we can't keep vinyl like in stock. It's been awesome.
That's fantastic to hear, especially since we're here talking about your new record. I've got it right here. Let me grab it real quick. Colored vinyl. I have to look at the sticker because it's berries and cream. I have to remember that. There you go, right there. Berries and cream. It's a Waterloo exclusive variant, which is kind of cool. And again, I also like to say disclaimer. One of our owners is Karen Kelleher, who owns Gold Rush Vinyl.
Yeah, they
and
did.
She's super stoked about. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, man?
I love it. I actually, some of the guys hadn't seen it before today, but I saw it because a little peek behind the curtain. I have a screen print and retail company called Norman Roscoe, and we do fulfillment out of there in Denton. And so we pressed this with Gold Rush in America because we had the rights to do it just in North America.
Nice.
So I said, I'll fulfill the record. So everything is at our shop at Norman Roscoe in Denton, and I literally do the fulfillment. If you order from North America, it's coming from me.
I mean,
not to shops, but just to like individuals.
Sure. Everybody out there listening, Eric touched your record.
Yeah. I spit on it. I licked it.
Yummy. I mean, it's berries and cream. Why not?
True.
Give it a taste, So yeah, let's talk about the new album, A Bridge Too Far. Stressing two, not T-double-O. What's that all about?
Of course, I'm aware of the idiom, and I kind of like playing on things like that where it kind of, you're like, but this is what that means. It's like, well, you could just drop as O and it means something totally different. And, it was a song that I kind of wrote in the latter part of writing, but I kind of knew right away that it kind of encompassed a little bit of the sentiment for the album. And really, it's just a song about hope. It's really simple in that the belief that, this place exists, the path to get there, and maybe even a vessel. So it's supposed to be encouraging. I think a lot of times when I write, even if there's a personal influence, I would love it if anybody can relate to that. And I do think at any time, hope is a good thing to have, and that you need, to say, irrespective of the circumstance, although I understand there is real existential circumstances that are difficult more than others, that we all need to know that there's a place that we can go to.
Absolutely. I think that, hope is necessary in those situations when it seems like it's, I don't know, like you've hit a wall, you've reached the end or kind of thing. And I'm glad you brought that up because I've been listening to this album. I'm really loving it, man.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very much enjoying this record, and hopeful is how I would describe it. It's almost a morning record for me. Does that make sense?
Sure. And even the opening track, I feel like, we like to lay out songs as an album. There's an A side, there's a B side. It takes you on a bit of a journey, not to sound cliche, but it's like that's kind of how we'd love people to listen to it. And I feel like if you've seen the video for Days Gone By, which is the first,
I have, and I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk about that in a second.
It has that morning, like, oh, the sun's up and this guy is in a bit of a mindset, and you kind of take a little journey with him from beginning to end, which is a short song, but I think it opens the album well. And obviously James, or Jimmy as we call him.
You're on a Jimmy?
Yeah, we're on a Jimmy
name basis? Man, that's amazing. Because I love James that character.
Lance,
It was Trent Crimm. Trent Crimm from Ted Lasso. He's tremendous. And that was kind of my gateway to this record when I knew that you were going to come in and we were going to have this opportunity to sit down and give you some time to talk about it. I started looking, hey, what's out there? And that video was the first thing I saw. And man, if you haven't seen it out there, like, you definitely should. It's wonderful. It's very life affirming in a way.
I can agree in that I had nothing to do with it. He had heard the album. We'd met him on the last album cycle, and we were in London, and it's kind of a funny meeting. I won't go into it, but we met there. And
is that where the video takes place, by the way?
No, it's in New York.
Okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No. But we met there, and we kind of kept a relationship. When we'd go back to London, he'd come, by, we'd hang out. And visit, and we did some phone calls and kind of we were trying to figure out like what could we do together, what would be fun to do. And obviously a video's low hanging fruit, but it's like we didn't really have an idea. We didn't even have a song. We gave him the new record and said, if you have a song that you're kind of attracted to, attached to, and he said it's Days Gone By. That's the one. We were kind of like, I don't know if that's a single, but then it's like, well, what's a single anymore anyway?
That's true. That's true.
So we said, man, he kind of shared, how, where he was coming from, and I shared, where the song was coming from. And he and Taylor McFadden, the director, got together, and with a choreographer, and one morning early in a kind of an area that wasn't as popular, because obviously it's New York, so you got to watch out for traffic. Yeah. It was a one shot, just all the way through, playing off the sun and the silhouette, and you just have to watch it. But it's like it brought it to life for me. We were moved, all of us, almost to tears. It's just like they just captured it so well visually that it brought new life to the song for me.
Yeah, I love that when visuals can match up with music in that way. Gosh, there's so much that's running through my mind right now. I want to ask you about Days Gone By in particular, and you performed it here today, acoustic, which was fantastic. And we were, again, so blessed to have you guys here playing it. And I bring up the birds a lot when I'm talking to when I'm sitting down and having these conversations, but the harmonies, that sort of thing, there was a very turn kind of situation going on for me. Does that resonate with you?
Absolutely. I mean, the song, when it was originally written, I might have had a background. Sometimes if I write, I might put a harmony on there and be like, guys, if we want to do a different harmony or whatever. And I think it was Jesse's idea. We were recording and we got around a piano, kind of like bird CSNY, type thing. And it's like, what if we harmonize the whole song, So we worked out parts, and there you go. That's what's on the album. So,
I mean, it's that morning vibe, the visual. Again, it's that feeling of hope that you're talking about that I totally get from that. Another track I'm really enjoying on it is Guardians.
Oh, yeah.
So Madison Cunningham, how did you? So again, I work in a record store. Mm-hmm. So many people are fans of Midlake, but also Madison Cunningham's new record, Ace. Yeah. They're really stoked about it. So how did that come about? How did you guys come to work with her?
When we recorded that song, it kind of lyrically, it was a song that was kind of hard to just sing all the way through. So the idea was thrown out that I sing it in like call and response myself. So the verses would kind of bleed over one another. I did it, and then quickly the idea was like, it'd be cool to have like a female voice on this. And then it became, Madison Cunningham would be great. So just context, Mackenzie and Jesse both played on some of Madison Cunningham's past records, Jesse on the latest. Producer Sam Evian, I think, knew her as well. So they kind of collectively were like, hey,
I was
Madison.
just about to say, did you just call her up? You're like, hey, you want to do this?
Yeah. And
that's amazing.
She graciously accepted and did an amazing job. And just standout track for us as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. I mean, I have some of my favorites myself. Make Haste is one that keeps. Oh man, it's like a mantra.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the album. Where kind of you have some like kind of mantra type. And there is a lot of that where it's like almost like an inner thought. And that was a song I wrote long time ago that kind of kept peeking its head up, and the guys helped take it to a great place.
Yeah, how did Make? I really want to know, how did Make Haste come about for you?
Really, it was a song kind of inspired by the band at a time that was just difficult, and it was a very acoustic driven song. There was a time probably around like 2010 to 12, we were, just the original five of us, and it was just getting difficult, and myself and Tim both wanted to do solo projects. Mm-hmm. And so we both respectively were writing, for those solo projects. Unbeknownst to me at the time, Tim would leave, and then some of the solo stuff, I guess, that I had at the time, one song did make it onto Antiphon. That would be my efforts, even though I did make a solo record years later. But you have, like anybody, any writer, you have these things that are kind of there, and you're like, that one keeps kind of poking its head of like, maybe there's an idea there. So I didn't have much, and that's kind of how we write in a lot of ways, where someone might have a short idea, small idea, maybe there's melody there or not, and then I write on it, maybe gibberish, and just try to get somewhere with it. That song had a little bit, but the guys' encouragement and kind of helping take it to a new place and kind of almost like this meditative, trance type, thing is like kind of a cool vibe to it. So it helps give inspiration and just breathes life into a song sometimes, where you're like, yeah, it could be cool. And it's like the guys get together, we get together, try to do something, a spin on it.
Yeah, it's a soundtrack to me running late, basically. It's been the soundtrack to me running late in the morning this week. And it's like I said, it's got that mantra effect where I'm just going, make haste. I've got to get going. I've been reading some reviews as well, as one does. Flood in particular said of this album, it's a winter album that doesn't venture too far forward one style over another on the folk to rock scale. And so for me, the idea of, I guess, albums or, sounds being seasonal has been a thing for me for a while. I wonder, as you're talking about, how you develop a sound and come up with that kind of thing, do you think of music in that way as well? Like when you're writing, or is it like I think of like T-Rex and I'm like, oh, that's summertime to me. You know what I mean? But I might think of Radiohead and go, oh, well, okay, Computer feels a little bit more like winter.
Sure. I totally get that. And we kind of, just as a band, I'm glad the album fits that mold, but I think as a band, we kind of like, oh, it's autumn, it's fall, it's winter. Like, let's listen to Midlake, which I'm happy any season. But I do, to that point, I am affected by seasons. And I either walk or run in the mornings. And so I see the sun come up and I experience, just like many, like the newness of the day, and I'll sometimes stop and write, on my phone, just like notes and stuff, and or even like sing a melody or whatever, that element of the environment, if not the season as well, affects me in my writing. But it could be any time, it could be spring,
Yeah, I've also man, I'm hearing myself saying a lot of the same things to folks when I talk about writing songs. I mean, the Notes app on my phone is the number one used app on my phone. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that way. Because there's always something, I don't know, like you said, it kind of comes to you and you're like, I gotta write it down. Oh yeah. How would you, I guess you as a band, describe the sound of this record? Because to me, it's like, I love that you're a Texas band. I mean, I don't know. I lived in San Francisco for a little while and people would still like in 2010 say, hey, do y'all all ride horses down there and like whatever? And I'm like, you hear this like psych rock band, the Black Angels? That's like, they're from Texas. Right. So, I mean, how would you describe your sound to someone that's like, not familiar?
Yeah, I do think for better or worse, we've taken a lot of left turns and influence, and they've all been, very much like authentic, just like that's what we were listening to, through the years. But at the same time, I hope there's a commonality. There's a kind of a line that connects these, getting into, more of like the folky West Coast thing or the British folk or, psych rock. All those things are in us. And I feel like this album more than any, not that we were trying in the past per se, it's just that's what we were listening to. I think all those things that were in us from this past discography really found itself in certain songs where you're like, oh yeah, that kind of sounds more like that album or that time. And again, I hope there's a common theme throughout sonically, but I usually just say like a psych folk rock band, or something. Right. Which is like genres these days. It's like you just keep adding words.
I know. I love how Apple like tried to categorize everything like in the beginning when they're like, is this pop? Is this rock? Yeah. Like when you're choosing, and I remember going, what? I don't know what to put this under, man.
Yeah. Maybe that's a good thing.
I think it's a really good place to be honest. Yeah. When you're making music. Yeah. I put out an EP last year and it was acoustic guitar and voice and they've called it folk. Cool. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess. I guess it is, whatever. So do you have a favorite tune on the album yourself?
I think it'd be The Calling.
Really?
Yeah. I really loved what the guys did with the horn section, which was a new place that we really hadn't been as Midlake. I think a lot of the album, we were kind of like, oh, what the heck? Let's try it.
Yeah, you had a flute today and it features on the record.
Yeah. Jesse plays a lot of flute. And Sam Evian, the producer, plays sax as well. So we kind of laid down the form of that song like you would. And then you go, okay, what do we want to do for the instrumental that we kind of just laid there? And then Jesse or Sam, I got an idea. Let's try this. They get out the woodwinds and we're like, we're gonna go to lunch. They come back, it's like, wow, that's kind of cool. So yeah, it's got a good energy, that song, and I just felt like that horn section took it to a new place that we hadn't been. That's sometimes the fun of making records. It's like, let's try something new.
Absolutely, that is fun. And speaking of records. What are you listening to these days? I like to ask folks that, like, maybe 2 or 3 things that are sort of making you, I don't know, excited about putting on the headphones and going for a run, like you said.
It's a good question. I feel like I go back to the well a lot, I still love the albums that have influences over the years. You know, I even have a playlist that I created called "It Ain't Like It Used to Be," and I challenged myself to do one song. The artist, you can only pick one song. I know it's a little bit controversial with Spotify, but it's a playlist on Spotify, and it's called "It Ain't Like It Used to Be," and you can go on there and you can hear some of the things that I get into.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll send people that way to check out what you're listening to these days.
A lot of times I'm listening to what my kids want to listen to on the way to school, which, man, you don't want to see that playlist. It's all over the map.
Wait, what age are we talking?
10 and 7.
Oh, Lord.
You know, my wife and I, we'd start where we'd let's say we're on a road trip and be like, okay, I'll pick a song, Mom will pick a song, then you guys pick a song, kind of like round robin. And they would choose if they want the songs that Mom or Dad picked to be on the playlist. And it's like, did it work? So, you know, there's some wings on there.
So you have to make the cut, basically?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to what's a gateway that they could get it, into a song. So yeah, I'm all over the map, and I love, lots of genres, and I listen to a lot of books and podcasts and stuff too. So it's like audiophile more than ever in a different way.
Same. Well, I mean, checking out the playlist is a good recommendation. I hope folks go and do that. The album is called "A Bridge Too Far" on Bella Union.
Yes.
Yep. It's out everywhere you stream your music as of November 7th, and you can pick it up here on vinyl, pressed exclusively for Waterloo Records on Berries and Cream, and pressed at Gold Rush, or CD here at Waterloo Records. You can follow the band on Instagram at Midlake Band, or keep up with the shows and all things Midlake. Please visit midlakeband.com. Eric Pulido, thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
I'm so glad.
Thank you for having me.
This has been so fun.
Appreciate it. It's been great.
I'm so glad you came out today and shared that wonderful acoustic performance with us.
Thank you.
And thank y'all out there for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at Waterloo Records, at Waterloo.sound for our Dolby Atmos studio, at Waterloo_wheels to follow the adventures of our Waterloo van, and at Unofficial Dogs of Waterloo to see all of our canine pals who come in and shop with us. I'd like to thank Cory Reinisch, our marketing manager, Allie Lingren, our in-house engineer, Audio-Technica, for providing the mics and the headphones, and of course to the hardest working staff on the planet, without which none of this is possible. I'm Gus Ochoa. See y'all next time, and until then, support the artists you love, support your local record store, and if you're in Austin, stop in and say hey. We'd love to see you. Adios, y'all.